All right, well, welcome to the Nadex Application and Strategy Webinar Series. My name is John Skelton. I'm with Apex Investing, and we want to say thank you to Nadex for having us on again today. We're going to talk about trading live Forex markets with Nadex. Okay, now we've got very limited time here this morning, so I'm going to be jumping in pretty quickly, and I'm going to be going pretty fast here. So if I lose you or if anything's over your head here, just bear with me. And we're going to try to get through the main stuff here, and I will show you at the end here where you can get some more information, where you can watch some more videos to help all of this kind of make sense to you, and where you can go to get your questions answered. If you ask a question and I'm not able to answer it, I'm not ignoring you. We just got very limited time, and I'm trying to stay on track. But I'll show you where you can get some information, where you can go to get all your questions answered here. So bear with us as we go through here. Let's jump in and get our disclosures knocked out. Trading futures, options, or any financial instrument involves risk, may not be suitable for every investor. Information here in this webinar is for informational and educational purposes only, not an offer or solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any particular financial instrument offered by Nadex. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So if you're brand new to Nadex, hop on over to nadex.com. You can open up a free demo account. Nadex will give you a $25,000 demo account. It's a great place to get familiar with the Nadex platform and just get familiar with how the platform works over there, what all different instruments they offer, how to enter and exit orders. If you don't have one of those, I suggest you go and get one of those right away. Great place for you to test out new strategies and systems, and even to test out some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. Okay, and like I said, I'm not with Nadex. I'm with apexinvesting.com. Apex and Nadex, two complete separate companies. Apex, we're an online company. We're a group of traders helping traders. We have over 20,000 members. We're very education-based. We have strategies and systems and indicators. We focus a lot on risk management and probability. One of the biggest reasons we love the Nadex products for their capped risk. And we're traders just like you. We're an educational partner. We do these webinars each and every week for Nadex. And what we're here to do is just to teach you about who is Nadex, what is Nadex, what are the options for you there, some of the different ways to understand and to trade Nadex binaries and spreads, and just kind of show you how we trade them, and just here to educate for you. Okay, so I've been with Apex now for about 3 years as head of operations. I've got a background in banking and as a licensed stockbroker, and I'm a trader just like you. I trade Nadex binaries and spreads every day myself. We trade them in our live trade rooms over at Apex. Like I said, we're just here to train and give you some ideas of what we do and how you can trade Nadex binaries and spreads yourself as well. So we're going to talk today about trading live Forex markets with Nadex, about how to read the markets, being aware of news, choosing between binaries or spreads, okay? Because based on the different market conditions, possibly a binary setup may be a better potential reward for you, possibly a spread, okay? We want to talk a little about choosing short-term and long-term opportunities, potential entries and exits, and managing the trades. Okay, now I just want to say real quick, there are many ways to trade the Forex markets with Nadex. You can do directional trades, you can do news trades, you can do premium collection trades, and with Forex markets with Nadex, you can trade everything from, let me just pull it over here real quick. You could trade everything from 5-minute binaries, or even just right now, if I were to open Forex binaries, and let's just say, for example, euro dollar, I've got expirations at 12, 1, 3 a.m., 7 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., 11 p.m., and at the end of the week, and then every 5 minutes, okay? So, and with spreads as well, there's a ton of options to choose from. So there are multiple ways to trade Forex with Nadex, all right? Obviously, we don't have time today to cover all of them. Today, I just want to briefly cover with you one of the ways that I look at trading Forex with Nadex, okay? And I've got a couple charts open here, and don't be overwhelmed by this chart. I'm going to briefly walk through it with you a little bit, and then, like I said, I'll show you where you can get some more information about it, and just want to kind of show you a little bit of one of the many ways that I trade Forex with Nadex. All right, so on this chart, the first thing I want you to see, these are some of our proprietary Apex charts and Apex indicators. First of all, notice the bars here, okay? And you'll see that the up closed bars are blue, the down closed bars are black. You know, a lot of you might be used to those being red and green, okay, but I have them colored a little bit differently. And notice that these are called Apex diagnostic bars. These are 10 ticks. These are 10 tick bars. All right, they're not 1 minute bars or 5 minute bars. They're not time-based bars. They're completely based on ticks and movement of the market. I don't always necessarily in my trading, I do use time-based bars at times, but I don't always want a new bar on my chart just because the earth rotated a few degrees, right? And my clock moved a little bit. I want to see what the market is doing. So those are the bars you're looking at here. Second thing I want to bring your attention to, very, very simple. You see these arrows here. Okay, this is our, what we call our trend catcher indicator. And it's very, very simple. You've got a red arrow down, green arrow up. I think everybody knows what that means, right? Up or down, buy or sell. The cyan colored arrow is kind of a heads up, like, hey, heads up, the market might be going back up. You might be getting a green confirmation arrow to enter a trade potentially. All right, so those arrows are very simple. Down here, if you notice, this is what we call our volume accumulation distribution, also known as VAD, V-A-D. Now, a lot of you are familiar with volume, but most volume indicators, what they do, okay, is they measure the volume of a bar itself, okay, just a bar itself. You know, in fact, some of you have probably seen, like if you add on, just real quick, I want you to understand this, it's extremely important. If you were to go and just add on a simple volume indicator, okay, what that's going to do is that's going to measure the volume within a particular bar. I want you to see the difference here. All right, see the difference, okay? Like notice how this volume's going up, 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 and this volume's all over the place. Okay, well notice what is this trend doing right here? This trend is going up. What our VAD indicator does, it's not measuring the volume in each bar. It's measuring the volume within that trend itself. Okay, it's a trend volume indicator. All right, so hope you can see that difference there, and you'll understand a little bit more in just a quick second why that is so important. All right, so real quick, and I'm going to just piece this together and we'll jump into looking at some things. So what this is doing is measuring the volume within a trend. Okay, now quick example here. See how the market's kind of going up here? All right, we're going to see that little bar. Okay, or you see here, the market's going up. We've got some good trend volume. Market goes up a little more, not quite as much volume. Going up a little more, not quite as much volume. And then it goes way up here, got some good volume. And then right here when the market tries to go up a little bit more, we've got lower volume. So what we have here in this particular example is the market is going up. And let me show you maybe a better example right here. See here how the market's going up, up, up? You see we've got some good trend volume. And then what happens here? The market goes up even further. It makes a higher high, right? But check out the second part of this trend, the second push up. Lower volume in that trend, right? So what happened there? The market made a higher high. This was the high, made a higher high, but with less volume. Okay? And when we see that happening, for example, the market making higher highs on less trend volume, what could that maybe tell us? Hey, the market's going up. It's moving up with some steam. Look, getting higher and higher and higher, building steam, right? So, and then what happens? As the market gets higher, even higher on less volume, it's running out of steam possibly. Okay? Now, for example, this right here is the euro dollar that we're looking at. Okay? So, what happens? Imagine yourself going up a hill, right? And you're going up the hill and you're going up the hill and you're slowing down. You're getting higher up the hill, but you're slowing down, right? So either you're going to possibly slow down, or maybe you're going to take a little break and then go higher, or maybe you're going to come back down. Does that make sense, what I'm talking about here? It's making higher highs, but it's losing steam. Okay? Now, another indicator I want you to see here is see these lines on the chart here. You see settlement? All right, see that right there? Or here, settlement? Well, that's where the market settled the day before. Then right here you have plus 0.5 deviation, plus 0.7, plus 1 deviation, 1.5, 2, and so on. Okay? These deviation levels, some of you might be familiar with standard deviations that kind of show you what the market did historically. Our diagnostic deviations, we look at the IV and the price of options to kind of determine expected moves of the day. Okay? And for the most part, the markets only have about an 80% or 70, say about 75% probability of going past a 1 deviation level in a day, and a very small percentage of it going past a 1.5, and then so on. Okay, and you can kind of see here, like let's look at this example. See, the market was around settlement this day, started to move up. Where did it kind of turn around at? Right here around a 1 deviation. You see that? Over here it blew through a 1 deviation, couldn't quite break that 1.5. So those are very, very important levels. Okay, and the market really, really honors these levels. All right, and so we want to look at these levels. And what we're looking for when we're looking for trades is we're trying to stack the odds in our favor. All right, so what do I mean by that? Now that you understand the chart, let me show you some basic setups here that I'm looking for. Okay, so what I'm looking for with the Forex markets is I'm looking for it to make a move to one of these strong levels. Okay, and my personal choice, I want to see a 1 deviation or a 1.5 deviation. So for example, what's happening here? The market's coming up, good volume. The market gets up here to this 1 deviation move. It made a higher high on what? Less volume. So I would be looking for a potential reversal. So not only do I see that it made a move up to a strong level, but it started to get some exhaustion here with lower volume. And then what do I have right here? I'm not going to just because the market hit 1 deviation up, I'm not going to suddenly just sell and go counter trend for no reason. Or just because I see it made a higher high on lower volume, I'm not going to just suddenly sell, because maybe the market's just kind of taking a break, right? So I'm not going to just sell because it's at that level, or just sell because it's just has lower volume. And I'm not going to just sell because I have arrows telling me to sell. I'm going to put all 3 of those things into account. I'm going to stack the odds in my favor. Okay. I'm also going to be knowing that with trading Forex, a huge thing you have to keep in mind with trading Forex is news. You have to be aware of news events that are coming out. Okay. And you might have an indicator that gives you news updates. You can hop online. There's multiple websites you can go to, that give you new financialjuice.com, forexfactory.com. We have some information on Apex. Give you an idea of upcoming news that you need to be aware of. Because with the Forex markets especially, your trade can be setting up just right, be fully exhausted at a big level, and you think it's coming down, but news comes out that just pumps some momentum right back into that currency pair and lets it keep going. And you don't want to get caught in that unaware. Okay, so you need to be aware of news. So I'm looking to stack all of those things in my favor. And right here is an example of the perfect setup. Market comes up to that deviation level. On lower volume, I get a signal to sell, right? See that? And you see the market goes down. Notice the time. See the times down here? This signal came at, 9:46 in the morning, kept going down all the way till almost midnight that night. So I had various expiration times I could have chose from for binaries here. I could have also taken a spread here and followed it down, right? All right, let's look at another quick example here. Market's coming up here, blows through the 1 deviation, comes all the way up to 1.5 deviations, comes down a little, and what does it do? Comes back up on what? Much lower volume. We're waiting for it, What do we get? Sell signal. Taking that all the way down, right? And what time did that happen right there? That was at, 8 o'clock at night. Kept going down all the way till 10, 11 o'clock the next morning. All right. So again, this is just one of the many ways, okay, that you can trade Forex. So now that you have an idea of the chart and simple setups, let's take a look at a couple live markets. All right, I've been looking at some markets this morning, and I've been watching, well, the euro dollar right here. Okay, where are we at? The market has come up almost to the one deviation, came down, now it's up here. So it's out of one deviation, not quite as much volume. Okay, you see that? So with Nadex, you've got 10 different Forex pairs that you can look at. Now, does that mean you have to have 10 charts open at one time? Or can you run through your charts and just simply look at, okay, are there any markets that have made a move up to one of those levels? Like, for example, let's say you were looking at the euro dollar this day. You're like, okay, let's pull it up. Let's move here. You know, you have some days that are just choppy. All right, well, that's not looking for a setup. But let's say you've gone through and you've looked at a few charts and you say, okay, there's a potential setup there. I'm just waiting for that to complete and get my arrows down. So currently we don't have an active setup on this particular chart of the euro dollar. Okay, let's take a look here. What about the dollar franc? Well, look where it was. Its settlement, look, it's come all the way down past 1.5. It's getting close to the 2 deviation level. All right, okay, cool. Maybe I want to keep that chart up and see if that sets up for us to go back long. We're keeping an eye on that. All right, how about euro yen here? Well, I was watching euro yen this morning. We almost had a setup because look, here's settlement. It's coming up here getting close. Well, it was a little below settlement, so it's made just about a deviation move. All right, with strong volume, and then this next bar here tried to go back up on less volume. Now it's come down a little bit and it's hesitating. All right, but we don't have a setup to go short. Now some of you say, well, wait a minute, there's a short arrow right there. Yes, but it's on an up close bar. You see that? We want it to be on a down close bar. So we don't quite have a setup there just yet. This could pop back up and then give us an arrow down and we could possibly take it. So I've been through the 10 different Forex pairs and I've narrowed it down to 4 that are close to those level moves, and we're waiting for a potential setup. Now, let's take a look here though. What I want to do is I'm going to squeeze this chart in just a little bit here. Okay, and one of the things that I want to warn you of, some people get too caught up at, hey, I really want to zoom into my chart here and really get a good idea of what's going on. Well, what is going on right here? All right, I think it's always a good idea to really zoom out or look at some larger time frame charts to see the overall picture. Now, when we look at this overall picture here, what do we kind of see here? We see that yesterday the market was on, we're looking at pound dollar here, the market was way down here, right? Way down here, about half a deviation from yesterday, came up to the previous day settlement, came up to settlement, and now we're up here, okay? Now we're up here at half deviation since yesterday, but look where it moved from since yesterday. And take a look at this volume. This volume is coming way up. We got up to here. More volume. We got up to here. A little less volume. And then what? Way up here with not near as much volume as those last 2 pushes up. Okay, so we've made a full deviation move basically since yesterday. And then what do we get right here? We get a deviation move. We clearly have less volume. And we get an indication to go short. Okay, so this was this morning. This was the London breakout, the European session this morning. Look at the timestamp down here. You see that? We got that about 4:30 in the morning. So if I was trading at 4:30 this morning, I've got a good setup there telling me to go short, right? So now I'm looking at my options. All right, what are my options? I've got a good setup here. Do I want to trade binaries? Do I want to trade spreads? Do I want to trade both? Well, let's take a look at a couple of things here. All right, what are we going to be looking at that's going to possibly help us make that decision? Okay, well, let's take a look here. So we've got pound dollar. Let's first of all, let's squeeze this chart in a little bit more even. Let's look back. Okay, we're now looking back. several days, 10 days now. So we can see that we were up here at a high from the last day, but also about the same level of highs that it's been the last 10 days, right? Okay, so that might make me feel pretty good about, all right, we're at a high here. Not only do I have a good setup for the day and for this system right now, but I'm also approaching some highs here from the last week or even 10 days. So maybe I might expect that the market could move down quite a bit. All right, so I might look at that and first of all think, wow, I've got the potential for it to go way down. So I want to do a spread and try to get a big move out of the spread. Or I might think, well, I want to do an out of the money binary. I only want to risk like 25 bucks and maybe get a really big move out of this market and have a good ROI, right? Well, you could have potentially thought that, and that could possibly still happen. Again, remember this setup was at 4:30 in the morning. We're now at 11:30, right? Yes, these charts are Eastern time. So at this point in time right here, what options would I have had with Nadex? Well, I would have had at 4:30, I would have had a 5 or 6 o'clock expiration. I would have had some dailies that expired at 11 a.m., which would have expired right here. I have 3 p.m.s. I have a lot of options to choose from, okay? But one of the things I'm really going to be looking at here, okay, is these strong levels, okay, and news. So I could potentially have a really big move, okay, possibly a really big move. But what is right here? You see settlement right here? Okay, I've got settlement right here. Well, I know that right around settlement, I know the market really respects these levels and it could hesitate here a little bit. Okay, so one of the things I would have been looking at, now obviously we're not at 4:30 in the morning here, but if I'm looking at pound dollar, I would have had, like I said, a 5 o'clock, a 6 o'clock expiration for the intra hours, just like right now if there was a setup, I have a 12 o'clock and a 1 p.m. And then I've got all these other time frames to choose from, okay? I've got these time frames to choose from. So when I'm opening up a platform, let's just say we had this trade set up right now, for example, and I'm like, okay, we're coming into 12 o'clock, but I want to give myself a little time, and maybe I think there's going to be a big move, or I'm not sure if there's going to be a big move, okay? Well, let me just back up here real quick. So right here, it could be a possible big move, but at settlement and these strong levels, the market can kind of hesitate. And you see that it did that, okay? So if I was looking to trade this trade here at about 4:30, well, I might get a big move, but I might also be expecting some hesitation here. So I might either want to be looking at something much further out, like for example, on the Nadex platform, you can see here for pound dollar, even right now, I can do something that's at 1 or 2 o'clock, or I can take a trade that's at 3 this afternoon, 7 this afternoon, or even 11 o'clock tonight, okay? Even as of right now, I've got almost 12 hours, or I've even got weeklies, okay? So I've got a lot of time here. I've got a lot of options here, okay, to choose something further out. Because, again, at 4:30, okay, oh, sorry about that, at 4:30 in the morning, okay, I could have maybe taken a 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, but I'm seeing that settlement there and some hesitation. I might want to give myself some more time, okay? But a couple things I was looking at here, all right? If the market was right here at this setup time at 22:55, okay, it's 4:30 in the morning, so Europe's already opened, right? We've already had a little bit of move from the European Open. But then what do I know is going to happen at 9:30 in the morning? What's the other side of this pair? Pound dollar. Europe's open. When do the U.S. markets open up? About 9:30. Okay, so I could have chosen an 11 a.m. expiration, right? Because there's 11 a.m. daily expirations. But what could have happened during the U.S. Open at 9:30? Maybe we could have got a little pop-up. And what if it would have popped up past my strike at 11 o'clock? I have to keep that in mind. The other thing that I need to look at is news. And if you would have looked at news this morning, you would have known that at 8:30, there was some Canadian news that came out. At 10 a.m., there's some U.S. news coming out. So if I were to enter a trade here for an 11 a.m. expiration, but I know there's news at 10 o'clock in the U.S. that could pop it up, I might want to rethink that a little bit, right? But what I could have done is right here at 4:30 is saying, okay, Europe's already made a little bit of move there. The U.S. markets don't open until 9:30, but there's a 7 a.m. expiration here. And I could have looked at a couple different options. Right here I got the setup at 22.55. I could have looked at taking an out of the money trade, maybe for risking say about 30 bucks, okay, hoping for a good move down here to below settlement. The two trades I would have probably put on here is I would have looked at either doing maybe an at the money trade perhaps, okay. You could have looked at, if you want to do a couple options, if you took an at the money trade here, you'd have been risking about 50 bucks to make 50 bucks. And if you had placed that trade there with a binary, risk about 50 bucks, the market comes down, 640, 645, boom, 7 o'clock, expires right about there. Okay, and at the money binary would have expired in the money. You could also take a little bit more conservative approach and say, okay, I got my entry here, and I want to do an in the money binary, somewhere up here. I want to give it a little extra room. Say I'll risk about $75, okay, and that way I give it a little extra room just to mosey on down, okay. But I could have looked at saying, okay, Europe's already made a little bit of its move here at 4:30. U.S. is going to be opening with some news at 9:30. So maybe that 7 o'clock a.m. expiration would have been the best one for me if I was looking for short term instead of doing a 5 or 6. If I want to do longer term, I might not want to do 11 a.m. with some news. If I want to do longer term, maybe I would do 3 p.m. or 7. Okay? So those are just some of the things I would be looking at there with that potential trade setup. Okay? Now, if I'd have taken an in the money binary up here, risking say about 75 bucks, okay? On my at the money here, I'm risking 50 to make 50. I've got a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Okay, I might have just left that on and not done a whole lot of trade management. I might have been watching it and see if I get a reversal. But if I'd have risked $75 up here on an in the money binary, I'd be really watching this trade and managing this trade. I'd be seeing what my chart's telling me is the market coming back up, what's going on with the volume here. And if the market came back up and it hit that strike price, well, if I had sold this for about 25 bucks, risking 75, if the market came back up and hit that level, when the market price is matching your strike price, your binary is normally worth about what? About 50 bucks, right? So I would have probably exited that trade. I risked 75, or I sold it for 25, it comes back up, it hits that strike, it's only worth 50. I would exit that, and I'd take a $25 loss. But if that had expired profitable, I'd have made 25. So I'm risking a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio there. Okay? So, and again, that is, or like I said, if you want to go longer term, at the money longer term, in the money longer term, you've got so many options here on the Nadex site. Okay? As we see, it looks like it's still popping down. I would have avoided that 11 a.m. because of the news, but I still had the 3 p.m. expiration. I've got the 7 or 11 p.m. Okay? And I know that going into the afternoon, if there's not a lot of news coming out, you know, maybe there's not going to be a whole lot going on there. Okay? Now, that is just one of many ways. Let's just take a quick peek here. Does everybody understand in general that setup there? Okay, and what I'm looking for here. We don't have time to really jump into a lot of details and entries and exits and so on, and I can show you where to get some more information there. But again, there's many ways to trade Forex on Nadex with binaries and spreads. This is just one of many ways I do it. Looking at these strong levels, looking for it to have less volume and get an indication going down, and then I really want to pay attention to news. And with having that ammunition of information, then I can go to the Nadex site and really look at all my options, all right, and really look at which ones are better for me. And I might be looking at how quick is the market moving here, okay? Like on pound dollar here, it was making some moves, but not real quick. That is where Nadex gives you tons of options to go further out in time to let it work in your favor. Nadex, unlike other platforms, don't just give you an at-the-money binary. They give you at-the-money options, out-of-the-money options, and even in-the-money options if you want to take a more conservative approach. There's so many options and great things you can do there and ways to take advantage of the Nadex products. Okay, so let me show you. I told you I'd show you where you can get some information here. If you pop on over to nadex.com, so we're already kind of running over our time here. If you go over to nadex.com and you go over here to the Learning Center, there's some great stuff over here. This will show you some upcoming webinars. And right here you can go to Webinar Archives. And if you go right here to Filter by Presenter, if you filter over to our webinars here, Apex Investing, you'll be able to see some of the past webinars we've done. And for any of you that some of this might have been way over your head and really quick, I think there's a few webinars I really want to point you to. Last week we did a webinar that was more about scalping options, binary options, but we talked a lot about knowing whether to hold on to a position longer or to exit early. And I think that would be a great one for you to check out to help understand, hey, when I'm looking at these longer term trades you're talking about, John, do I just hold it, or am I up in some profit, 30 or 40 bucks, but it's turning around? Should I just hold? There's some great points we went over in that webinar I think you should really check out. If you're really new and you don't even really have a good grasp of Nadex binaries or spreads and what they are and how they work, again, some of this might have been over your head, well, right here is perfect for you. Basics of Nadex spreads, Nadex binaries 101. Both of these two webinars here are basically like a hand-holding, walk you through like a 5-year-old. You've never heard of a binary or a spread. We walk you through exactly what it is, exactly how they work, and so on. Okay. For those of you that have a little bit better understanding of what binaries are, but you're not quite sure what's the right one to choose because there's so many options, just like I covered there, and that is a big key when you're looking at these trade setups and trading Nadex, is knowing to take the right one. Right here is the perfect webinar for you. In the money and out of the money binary strategies. Really digs into why there's so many different binaries there, how each one of them works, and which one might be the better choices for you, better options for you based on your strategy or system. All right, so make sure to check those out there. It'll help answer any questions here for you newbies or for anything there. And hop on over and visit us at apexinvesting.com. We've got tons of free education over there. We've got some step-by-step training courses on binaries and spreads. We've got strategies and systems. And feel free to ask us any questions over there. Some of you are asking questions about some of the charts and stuff I was using. We can direct you to some videos to watch, and totally free membership, and check that out. And we appreciate your time today, and thank you for joining us. I know it was a very quick session, but just wanted to open your eyes to a couple things there. We hope you, again, feel free to ask us any questions. We hope to see you next week and each and every week for these Nadex application and strategy webinar series. So thank you so much, and hope you have a great rest of your trading day here.